guys, it's Spectral Terror, and I'm back with another video. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing remains clear: people do not like Ouija boards. Here's two stories which I can promise are completely true, but before I start, I apologize for my grammar. It's not my strong suit. Story 1. The ancient Ramen, Gloucester, UK. I've always been interested in the paranormal. The idea of there being an afterlife and being able to meet and see important persons in your life, people. It's very intriguing. With this in mind, I was asked to go on a ghost hunt to this place that was right around the time most haunted had become very popular. So I thought, what the hell, it could be a laugh. Anyway, this place had a lot of history and well documented for being active. This did not bother me, as if I'm brutally honest, I was skeptic. Brief bit of history about this place. First, to build up a picture, this place is a little sleepy village and was formerly a very old pub, which, looking at the guest book that was lying around, had links in with Barclay. I think the bank looked very old and run down, which adds to the general feel of the stereotypical haunted house. So we went inside and spoke to the owner. He was an oldish guy, and looked a little off his rocker. You might say, you could tell when you walked into the house that it was just bad inside as it was outside. There was stuff everywhere, rubbish, old furniture, and car parts, and had a very damp smell about the place. He starts to fill us with a brief history about it, showing us pictures of orbs and usual suits people tend to use as apparent ghost sightings. While he was talking to us, there was a serious loud bang coming from above us. At this point, we were in the kitchen. This piqued all of our interests. At this point, he told us that he had been signs of devil worship and witchcraft. This immediately got my back up and adrenaline pumping. I was excited and frightened at the same time. We started walking around the place doing usual stuff, taking pictures, video checking, EMF, cold spots. Upstairs we went, and in one of the bedrooms was indeed drawings of inverted pentagrams, etc. It felt very cold and heavy, but I put that down to the stories we had heard. Tried calling out and got a few bumps and crashes, but nothing solid. So at this point, we went and had a break and decided we would try a Ouija board. I was excited, the prospect, and only agreed to take note that and not to take part. So the guys started doing this board with nothing really going down to this point. They asked me to join in, saying that we will give it more energy. I reluctantly agreed. The pointer was absolutely flying around the board as if it was gliding. We were asking various questions about the history of all, which answered true, but the former occupants, the keyboard, said there were several bad spirits here that meant to cause us harm. We carried on regardless. Very loud bangs and crashes were coming from all around us. A bad damp smell really started to surface. At this point, the board was giving us answers we didn't want to see. So I said, my friend, I want to leave the table, as I was absolutely crapping myself. Now with the Ouija boards, you have to close them down properly, or else the parent spirit can attach themselves to you, etc., etc. He asked the board if I could leave the table, and it shuddered the way to no. I had enough at this point and promptly left the table. Without saying goodbye, and left the house and not returning in. I swore I'd never do a board again. I had never been as frightened as I was then. And at that point, I was a 27-year-old guy who didn't scare easily at all. So this to happen really shook me, sent shivers up my spine. I had a lot of bad luck following that. I lost my job, my home, and found out my wife had an affair. Whether it is all tied up together, I doubt, but can't help thinking I shouldn't have walked away or even done that thing in the first place. Story 2. Ouija board, the return. This is maybe a year after my previous story. We're doing an organized ghost hunt in an old friar's refectory, monk's church. I am brutally honest, it was utterly boring and was about ready to go until they asked if we fantasized doing a Ouija board. Fancied. So, despite all that happened with the previous one, I thought, what the hell, let's just give it another go. So I started off asking questions and managed to get a response saying it was my Nan. She had passed away 6 months earlier. I just asked if everything was okay, and it went to no. I started running through various family members until I mentioned my mom, to which the point it was very quickly to yes. I asked if everything was okay. It went to no. Then I should speak to my mom, and everything went to yes. I started to get a little spooked and joked to my mate that maybe we should call it quits. I mentioned to my mate I should tell my mom about this, as she would be very interested. I'm hearing about what happened, but I thought nothing more of it, and I went back to my friend's house where I was staying. I got home in the morning, and I tried ringing my mom. I got no answer. I felt very eerie about this, and instantly knew something was wrong. So I tried again, and got no answer. At this point, I was really starting to panic. About 10 minutes later, I got a local pass saying my mom had been rushed to the hospital after having not one, but 5 strokes. She's okay now, and I was very lucky to be alive. But this has to be more than a coincidence. Alright guys, those are my 2 stories for the day, and let me know what you guys think. Please feel free to leave any comments or questions, and I'll have them answered as best as I can. I can assure you these are both 100% true. Thank you guys for listening in, and this is Spectral Terror. Make sure to have a great night.